Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my TBR journal and my bestie Jessica.
Okay, well, since we both have our TBR journals, I guess you guys can probably figure out that this is going to be our April. Well, that and the title. The title helps too, right? April TBR. So we're going to give you the 15 books each that we hope to read in the month of April. I don't always accomplish that. I have never accomplished reading all of mine.
I have
So
gotten close
you've gotten
and
close.
I keep feeling like I'm setting myself up for success and then I just don't make it. But I feel like I could do April's.
I hope to, but I'm not making that promise. So let's talk about Marches. How did you do with March?
I got 9. 2, though, haven't even come out yet because we're recording this like a week early.
Yeah, I've got 6, but I got 3 from previous months.
Oh,
So
I grabbed a couple from previous months too.
yeah, and then there's like a lot of them just have not come out yet. So hopefully I'll still get them, but whatever. Yeah. So, okay, so let's talk about April. But before we do that, what do you want to say? What should you say?
Welcome to the channel. If you're new, we're so excited that you're here. We hope you'll hit that subscribe button and like and comment. Let us know what's on your TBR, what's up. Tell us all the things. We love chatting with you in the comments.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, so and we also have a giveaway going on.
We
for
do.
Road to 3K, the coveted cover, so you can check that out in the graphic there. And when we get to 3K, we will let you know what else you need to do to try and win that.
Exactly.
Right now, just subscribe.
Yeah, just be here and subscribe. That's all.
Really makes us happy.
Yes, it does.
I'm getting a horrible foot cramp. Oh no. Oh, it hurts.
Charlie Horsch.
Sorry.
Okay, let's distract you by talking about books. Okay.
Always so task oriented. And people would think it's me with my spreadsheets.
It's me. Okay. So April TBR. How are things shaping up? I have a ton of audio releases, not so many new releases. What does yours look like?
My releases are all audio, but most of them also are the book as well.
Okay, yeah, that's how mine's kind of looking too. So, well, not most, but a handful. Okay, so let's
get definitely started. Not like March.
No.
Unless there's stuff that I just have missed.
Well, again, because we're doing it a little earlier.
Looking quite promising.
Yes, they are. They are. Okay. Actually, I have quite a few for April, but a lot of them are just audio, but still. Okay, let's get started.
Yeah.
Okay. So my first book is one I've already read. This is an audio release. Shush! You'll find out why.
So you're gonna do your TBR?
No. But for this one, I am. So this is Romancing Rameb. This is by Ruby Dixon. This is the second or third book in her other spinoff, her Ice Clones. I can't remember. Anyhow, the audio comes out for this on the 15th, and I always listen to the audio when it comes out on her books, even though I read her books when they're released. So I will be reading this. This is Tia's story. He's an alien, but he's not like our blue aliens. Mandy cannot handle the alien talk for some odd reason. I don't understand why it's so dang funny all the time.
I want to discuss the fact that you're starting your TBR off with books you've already read.
Because it's the audio release. It's the audio.
You're so used to me laughing through the aliens. You're just like,
because it's the audio release, and the audio deserves just as much praise as the book when the book first comes out. So, oh, look at that. Isn't that cute? So we are going to do the audio. It is on my TBR. I desperately want to listen to it.
I agree, but you have to admit that was pretty funny. It was pretty on my TBR is a book I've already read. How did you do on your TBR this month? Nailed it!
That's what I need to do! Oh, that would be awesome. Okay.
Oh.
Anyhow.
Okay, so my first book is Birthday Girl by Penelope.
Yeah, the thing is you actually have to do the reread, and you won't reread, so you can't do that.
I know. Okay.
No. Okay.
In all seriousness. Mm-hmm. Okay, my first book. Oh, I have tears from laughing. Mm-hmm. It's always a good time here at Bestie Book Reviews.
Always.
Okay, so my first book is Please Sir by Daisy Jane. It comes out on April 3rd. This is age gap, which I love, and Daisy Jane does such a good job with age gap. I am a little like, this one sounds a little bit more outside of my normal realm of reading, but I'm still very excited about it. So she is leaving her abusive ex and her gaslighting parents, moves to Newtown, and is a teacher there. She meets this hot cowboy who is described as a dominant daddy. And so this is going to have like the list of tropes in this were a little eye-opening. We'll
Okay.
just say that.
Okay.
But I love Daisy Jane, so I think I'm
Yes.
going to really enjoy this. But here's the thing. Once they're like fooling around and he has her all tied up and everything, and in walks her student, and the cowboy is the student's dad. Oops. Yeah.
Oops. Okay.
And this is taking place in Bluebell, so Daisy Jane has promised that there will be little like cameos from some of our
Sneaks.
favorite Bluebell residents.
Okay. All right. So the next book I have on my list is a new release, obviously, but it releases on March 31st. And since we're filming this before the end of March, we're a few days out, I wanted to include it because it was not on my March TBR. And obviously on the 31st makes things a little difficult anyway, so I'll read it in April. And that is Depravity by Ellie Sanders. There is not a blurb for this one. This is the second book in her brother-in-law's secret society book. This is the one, I read the one before this, whatever book one was called, I can't remember, Captivity, I think, or something like that. So dark. So I'm just going to tell you, you're going to have to check trigger warnings. I know that this is another one of the guys from the Secret Society. I don't remember, because it kind of set it up at the end of the second book. I just don't remember. But I did know that the minute I finished that first book, I one-click pre-ordered this back in mid-2024. So like last summer. So I've been waiting for this one. So very dark, Secret Society. Have that. Probably a captor-captive situation. Probably.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, my next book is called The Nanny is Off Limits by QB Tyler. The audio comes out April 3rd, and I believe this is the book releases then too. And so this is about a widower. His wife passed away like over a year ago. He's got 3 kids to raise. He's overwhelmed, exhausted, and just desperate for help. And that's when the nanny comes, and she is 20 years younger than him. It has been a hot minute since I've read a nanny book, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. So I have one that I think you're probably going to want to read.
Ooh.
We both liked the second book in the series. We both need to go back and read the first book in the series. Okay. This is Castaway Whirlwind by May Alder. This is book number 3 in her Big Boys of Benson Trucking series. So this one is an age gap as well. It sounds like her heroine was like kicked out of her house by her mom. She's very obviously younger. And for both of the first 2 books, it has to do with truck driver picking up this girl, kind of insta-lovey, but works for these books. And so I want to read the first one before this one. This one comes out on April 22nd. So I do have time to read book 1 before book 3 comes out. So that is my plan.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
I
really did enjoy that second one. So
it was good.
Yeah.
And when I read it, there were some comments asking if I had read the first one, and I was like, no, I haven't. I need to go back and read it. And people were saying they loved the second one, but they loved the first one even more.
Yeah. I actually downloaded it over this week. I was planning on getting to it. I just hadn't. But the title always has something to do with the book. So the first one is Runaway Whirlwind. The second one is Stowaway Whirlwind. So the second girl, we know she was a stowaway in this truck. And then this third one being Castaway Whirlwind, it sounds like she's been cast aside her whole life. So it makes sense.
Okay. So my next one on my list is Wicked Love by Willow Astor. This comes out on April 10th. I have been loving this series, so I'm so excited for this one. So this is Bowie. Bowie's daughter has a coach who kind of likes Bowie, and Bowie has been very cold and distant towards her until one day they're at a wedding and they end up spending a lot of time together at this wedding. And then there, of course, is going to be a hotel mix up. And so she ends up sharing a room with him. They have a fantastic night together. And then he basically ignores her and pretends like he doesn't know her because he is completely just dedicated only to his football career and his daughter. Very excited for that one.
Okay. All right. Well,
I love football.
Oh, I think a lot of my books that I have this on my TBR this month are books that are like book 2 in a series. And so that is what I have for this next book as well, or book 2 or 3 in the series. So this is His Juliet by Amelia Rossi. I read his Tesoro at the beginning of this month or at the end of last month, and I really loved it. So this is April 28th release. This is an age gap. It says it's a hurt comfort mafia with mental illness representation. The first book had an illness representation that's kind of rare, and so I'm looking forward to how she deals with this. And of course, you have your obsessed, jealous, possessive man, and it's mafia. So there's probably an arranged marriage or a forced situation that always happens in mafia, or typically happens in the mafia. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Again, it'll be out on the 28th.
Okay, are you almost done with your new releases? Are you not in order?
I went with my releases, and then I accidentally put Romancing Remeb in there first, and I was like, oh crud, I need to do my physical releases and then do my audio. So now I'm gonna go back.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I don't have that many new releases this month.
Oh,
I have 6. And then I'm trying to focus on getting books read that I really want to read. And so this is kind of my month of trying to clean up my TBR a little bit. So I think I might have a couple that you guys may have heard about on my TBR like a year ago.
Yeah, it happens.
But, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so my next one is Someday You Learn by Harlow James. This is the next book in the Covington Cove series. I recently discovered Harlow James, like I think back at the beginning of the year, and loved her. So this comes out April 11th. So Cashlyn and Parker are on a plane together and something happens and she like thinks they're about to die. And he comforts her, gets her to calm down, and they end up spending the night in the hotel together. Yeah.
Okay.
And then she shows up in town at his work, and it turns out his boss is her dad, and she introduces him as, oh, I think you know my fiance. Yeah.
Lovely.
I am very excited for this one.
Okay. Well, when we were in Seattle for Rain City, you and I met Nadia Lee, and I picked up one of her books. I hadn't read her before. I think you had, and I was like, oh, it was one of those things where like it was the end of the day, and they're just trying to get rid of the books because authors do that at the end of these events. They're like, somebody just take my books, and so we got like a 2-for-1 deal.
To pay to ship them home.
Yes, exactly. That's what it is. So they gave us a discount on books, and I really liked the books that I got from her. I really enjoyed them. And so she has a book that is releasing on the 4th of April, but it's audio same day release. And that is Accidental Marriage. This is a grumpy billionaire romance. It was the day, or the first like couple lines are what caught me for this one. And I'm just going to tell you what they said really quick. I'm just going to read them to you. It says, having been kidnapped by his mother at age 10 and left to die in a fire, billionaire lawyer Eris Huxley trusts no one, but he needs a wife to get a critical promotion at his law firm, and wakes up the morning after a friend's bachelor party to find that he's somehow married to an eccentric blonde he doesn't even remember meeting. That's all I need to know. I'm down. I didn't even read the rest of the blurb. I was like, that's it. So,
yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to be scarred. That's like,
oh yeah,
that would be. Ooh.
I actually only have 5 new releases. I was wrong. Okay. Only have 5. So this is my last new release for this month. And that's not to say that there's not a lot of other great releases. This is just my personal TBR that I picked.
Yep.
Okay, so it is Mr. Charming by Piper Rain. It's going to be the last book in the Nest series, and this is Tweety's story, and the blurb is coming out on April 5th. April 4th. So we don't really know what Tweety's story is going to be yet. I am really excited for it, but also a little sad because I've loved this series so much. It's so good.
Okay.
But on better, like, leaving on a little bit of a positive note, they're going to go back and start writing more in the Plain Daisy Ranch series. So that, like, I guess is makes me feel a little bit better about the series being over.
Okay. All right. Okay, so the next book that I have is an audio release for the 1st of April, and that is Mate Rejected by Eve Bale. I've read I've read 3 or 4 of Eve Bale's shifter romances, and I really did enjoy the most of them. She's kind of hit or miss sometimes, but this is a rejected mate situation, and I don't remember much from the blurb. I just know that I want to try this one out, and so I'm going to try this one out on the 1st. It's audio. It's great. They're not very long books. We're going to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, the next up, I have what is going to be our buddy read. This will be on Jen's channel on April 27th, 1 p.m. Pacific. You can check our back later for like all more info, but it's going to be on Jen's channel, and that's Devour by Gail Harris. So this is our buddy read book. I think I don't know if I actually explained what I was talking about. I just started rambling. And so I don't know much about this. She meets this guy in Sin City at her cousin's wedding. And then she goes back home and somebody is stalking her. And this is like a Little Red Riding Hood loose retelling.
Okay. Okay.
And again, they're stalking. So I know why we all were like, yes, let's vote for that book.
Exactly. Stalking. All right.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm also going to give for my next one, this is an April 1st audio release as well. And yes, I've already read the book, but I loved Born for Silk so much. And the audio releasing is perfect because Born for Lace, which is the second book in this dystopian romance, comes out in May. So that is the perfect excuse to listen to the new audio and get ready for the next book, which is another couple. But oh, this one is so good. I know you have no desire, but guess what? I'm going to force it one day.
I know. I saw you like hardcore. I felt like you were almost yelling at me when you were like, this is the perfect time.
Read the friggin' book. You don't have to. I don't know how you're going to feel about it.
Apparently, I did not realize this, but somebody said in the comments that this was not, like when we did that last convincing, that was not the first time I passed on that book.
Oh, it's not.
Realize that.
I think it's the way I describe it to you. I think that's part of it, but it's also, there's a lot of world building and stuff in that book. So it does read somewhat fantasy right in the beginning, and it did take me a hot minute to get into it. But now with the audio, I think it would be easier because it's not so much me trying to put it together in my head. And I'm hoping that I'll pick up on things that I missed last time by doing the re-listen just before the new book comes out. So yeah. Okay, what else you got?
Okay, my next one is Past the Broken Bridges by B. Celeste. And this is the book she talked about in the interview that was just coming out. And so I put this on there. So this is about, I tried to summarize it in my notes and I was really struggling. So basically Sawyer and Paxton were friends, and then Hurricane Katrina happens and she's forced to like move away. And then but after the long battle with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma that's kept her away, 21-year-old Sawyer is finally heading back to Louisiana to go to college, and she's kind of has this new lease on life, and she's going to meet this guy who turns out to actually be Paxton, her friend.
All right.
So I'm really excited to read this because she says this is going to make me really cry.
Okay.
Remember her saying that?
I do remember that, yes.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I
Okay.
like a good cry.
So this next audio release I have been waiting for a while. It comes out on the 8th of April, and that is The Flame King's Bride by Chloe Chastain. So this is the second book in a 4-book series. The third book just released a couple weeks back. This book was actually a gift to me from Chloe. By the way, Chloe Chastain is Lilith Vincent. This is her fantasy pen name that she writes under, but this is a fantasy omegaverse, so it kind of combines quite a few things. It's a captive. He's riding a dragon. He snatched her from another man's funeral, and she is his fated mate, his omega, and he's riding a friggin' dragon. Like, he snatched her up with his dragon and flew, and he's a king. There's, you know what, I don't think we could shove any other tropes in here. I think this is good. So I'm really looking forward to the audio. I listened to the first book when the audio first came out, loved it. Obviously ends on a cliffhanger. We're waiting for the next part, and it'll be out on the 8th, so I'm ready for that.
Is the dragon actually a shifter that's a part of the pact?
No, his dragon is just his dragon that he rides. Okay. I mean, it's male, female. There isn't anybody else in there. It is not a wide choose. So no, dragon does not get to be a part of it. In that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Okay.
So next I have Over the Line by Elsie Faber. And this is our heroine has lost her job, her apartment, and is just kind of, spiraling. So her best friend suggests that she go stay at her house in Tahoe. So she's like, that sounds fantastic. So she goes to do that. But then there is a pretty bad snowstorm. Then she gets trapped on the side of the road in her car. And our hero, Lake, is going to be just there to rescue her. He's going to take her back to his house and they're going to be snowed in together.
Well, dang. Okay.
Yeah. And did you get a good look at him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a hardship.
He's coming on my cruise with me.
Ooh, okay. All right. So the next book I have is another new audio release, and that is My Dark Fairy Tale by Gianna Darling. This releases on the 8th. And this is a dark mafia where our heroine gets rescued by a dark man. It does have a fairy tale theme to it, and I can't remember which one, but it's Gianna Darling, and I love Gianna Darling. So, I mean, she lives just right here, just that way a little bit. So, feel that kinship there. Actually, there's several authors that live just like that. Karina Halley does too, but yeah.
On the other side of your bedroom?
On the other side of the border, which is on right outside my bedroom.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, I know. So, okay.
Okay, my next book is one that you read. You said it was really good and I should read it. I have the book. I haven't read it. And if I remember correctly, every time you've talked about it, you're like, you can't really talk about this book. And that's The Five by Lily White.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of looked at the back trying to figure out how to write notes. And I was a little thrown on like, what exactly would I say?
It's really hard.
Yeah. So there's like a psychologist that's assigned to her, and she, like, basically it says that she's lived a life of sex, drugs, and manipulation. She has a temptation with far too many secrets. There's a twisted path of love, loss, and murder. I don't know. So I've been excited to read it for a while, and I don't understand. I cannot keep up with all the books that I'm excited to read.
I know. Same.
I need to retire and just read full time and get paid exceptionally well for that somehow.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the next book I have is another audio release. The book has been out for a while, and it's one that I've had on my TBR for a while. And that is Delightful Sins by Lola King. This is releasing on the 15th in audio, and it is the third book in her North Shore series. It is our heroine turned against the gang, because remember, this is about gangs, not mafia. Somehow she turned against the gang, and now she is on the run for her life. And the two boys that she's always had a connection with are not going to allow her to run, but they will punish her as well when they catch up with her. So
when they,
yeah, I think it's an MFM. It might be an MMF. I don't know if the boys have a relationship as well, but I know that's two boys, one girl.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you might like this next one that I have.
Okay.
Okay, it's called Obsession by Harley Beck. I don't know much about it, but I'm really excited to read it. This is a dark romantic thriller. And Savannah gets to interview the most notorious man on death row. And he's there for murdering like 14 women. And he's old enough to be her father. And then from his point of view, is not everything is as it seems, and he requests only to speak to her because there's something he sees in her that likens them, like some darkness or something. And I'm like, oh, what is going to happen?
Oh, yeah, I'm intrigued by that one. I need you to read that because I need to know more.
I will let you know.
Okay. So this one is my last audio release, my last new release for the month. This is A Twisted Arrangement by Jay Wilder. The audio release is on the 29th. The book is already out, but this is the second book in her Twisted Vows series. I read the first book, and I really liked it. So Jay Wilder is Jessa Wilder. I think she I think Jessa Wilder is her paranormal stuff and Jay Wilder is her other stuff. But this is a stalker, captive, dark, obsessed hero romance. I am here for it because the last one, even though it had those themes, it didn't read as dark. It didn't feel like, yes, there's quite a few dark themes. It just didn't feel as obsessive and dark. And so I think for those who are not as crazy as I am, this probably would feel darker, but I did kind of enjoy it quite a bit. So
you mean he didn't hit her over the head and drag her back home?
Might have drugged her.
Drugged her.
Dragged her back home. I don't think he dragged. He carries. He's very, very aware of the fact that he could hurt her
okay.
by dragging. Yeah. Okay, next.
Okay, my next one is called Put Me In Coach by K.L. Mann. This is an age gap. It's like a really quick novella, so I don't know if we call it like a short story or what, but it's a short novella. Okay. So this is about Liam. He wants his stepfather. And Jonathan is a good man and a great coach, but he just might be tempted by Liam.
Okay.
Everyone is of age.
Okay. Okay, I'll give you that. All right. So
I haven't read a good Taboo book in a hot minute either, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to find something in this book, but I can't now. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the next book I have on my TBR, audio came out in the month of March for this one. But this is A Sea of Song and Sirens. This is fantasy. This is by Whit Stanfield. This is the first book out of our Athena box for Coveted cover. So you guys can see this is the dust jacket on here. That's why it's cut out. And yeah, anyhow, I'm looking forward to this. So she is a mermaid. Our heroine is a mermaid. And our hero is a pirate, I believe. I don't know much, but this has gorgeous art inside of it. I just have to show you like their wedding picture. Like how gorgeous is this? It's vellum that we have bound into it. So Nocturne is going to start having that kind of stuff too. But I'm excited for this. I love Whit. She's a sweetheart. So now the audio is out. I told her I'd wait for audio, but that I would read the book. So I am going to do that. I really like audio for fantasy. It helps me to get into it. So I'm better listening to an audiobook than I am at physically reading an audiobook. So I waited for the audio. It just came out and I'm going to listen. Go.
Okay. Okay, so next I have Breaking Silence by L.M. Holleran. This is Matt's story from Breaking Giants. He's the lead guitarist, and he's also a Swedish underwear model.
Well, dang.
Laura, we need pictures ASAP.
Like inspiration for this character?
So he was engaged, but now he is back on the market, and he is starting to notice our heroine. Okay. So I really wanted to read this because she has some new books that are coming out, and it's going to be the second generation to the Breaking Giants series. So I read the first one, so I wanted to get this one read, so I'm ready for May.
Okay,
when the next book comes. Very excited because it's been, I think her last book was last August, so I'm excited to get a new book from her.
Yay!
Like I'm already, see, I know May is gonna be a good month.
It's gonna be a good month.
Not that this wasn't either. I
just
get paranoid that I'm hurting people's feelings, but like I'm just excited for books.
I'm just excited for more books. Come on, yeah. Okay. So the next one that I have on my list is Night by Kristen Ashley. This is one of her darker, as far as Kristen Ashley goes, this is her darker series. This is the first book in her Unfinished Heroes series. This is about our hero who is very obviously dark as night, and he rescues the maiden, a woman, and he's like, she deserves better than him. She deserves the white picket fences and not the darkness that he has in him. And so he tries to push her away, but she keeps coming back for more, and we'll see what happens. I love Kristen Ashley. I have never read a Kristen Ashley book that I did not love. So I'm ready.
Ooh.
Yep.
Okay, next I'm going to read Comeback by Rebecca Jinchak. This is part of the Holland Brothers series because we have a new one coming out. I think it's in June. This will get me caught up to that point. So this is Archer's story. Archer is the Holland brother who uses ASL and has hearing aids as well. And I have loved his character. He is with Brogan quite a bit in the other book. And there's this funny part where he's been with this girl for a while and then he breaks up with her and he tells Brogan like he just wasn't feeling it, like it just wasn't working out or whatever. And Brogan's like, really? Because it sounded like the sex sounded good. And like Archer's like, what? And he's like, dude, you're deaf. I'm not. And so I'm very excited for his story. And I won't give away anything about the heroine because there's like a big reveal in Brogan's book that kind of sets this book up. But there's a new roommate situation, and she feels like Archer is a handsome jerk.
Okay. All right.
So I'm very excited for it.
Okay. So this next book was sent to me by the author. She watches our channel. That is Sabine Barclay. She sent these to us like literally before we got on an airplane. It arrived right before we got on the airplane to go to Phoenix. And then I was in LA and then I was sick and then I traveled to South Carolina and then I had surgery. So I really just have not had the time to give this poor book the attention that it needs. So I put it on my TBR to force myself to get to it because I need to get to it. But this, I know I was looking at it, I was like, oh my God, it's Irish Mafia. Like, really, Jessica, what are you waiting for? So this sounds really good. It is more, I love me some Irish Mafia. I love me some Irish. This is the first book in her I can't even say it.
O'Rourke?
Thank you. Brotherhood. This is a New York Irish Mafia. And it sounds like the, hard-ass criminal villain we've got going on here only gets soft for her. And we love that trope. So this is on my list. I am going to read it this month.
Okay. O'Rourke wasn't a giveaway.
You know what? Just tell us about the next dang book. Thank you so much for sending those books. I'm so sorry I haven't gotten to it, but I promise I will in April.
It sounds good.
It does sound good.
All right, so my next book is Tanner by Samantha Skye. Samantha Skye has been on my list to read for a while. In fact, I have one of her other books over on the shelf somewhere. And somebody in the comments was talking about Tanner and it's an age gap. And I'm like, ooh, I need to read that. So basically her life implodes somehow and she ends up with this inheritance. So she moves to this small town and starts renovating the farmhouse. Next to her is Tanner, who is like really rich. He owns the largest whiskey distillery or something like that. And they have a lot of bickering back and forth. And did I mention this was age gap? And he feels like she's just not cut out for the country life. And she kind of agrees with that. And then there's something vicious and unexpected, is what the back says, happening also. But I'm just intrigued by an age gap bickering situation because those are usually very good when like things get good. Yeah.
Okay, so I saved the best for last, and that's no slight to any of the other books. It's just I want Mandy's reaction. So my last book is, you ready for it?
Okay. I don't know what to think. Like if I'm bracing for like I'm really gonna be truly happy or if it's aliens.
It's Guarded by the Kraken. And it's by Cassie Alexander. Look at how pretty this is, though. And it's actually got the blue papers.
Is that an octopus?
It's a kraken! Okay, listen. I'm going to tell you why I want to read this book, and you're going to understand when I tell you. This is about a human and a kraken. Yes, it is. And it's underwater.
Sure.
She's a scientist, okay? And he becomes her bodyguard. That's beside the point. What got me was I saw a video by this author and she said that the heroine has just lost her sister to breast cancer and she carries the gene. So she's had a double mastectomy. And I don't know if she's had reconstruction, if she's gone flat, but she's had the double mastectomy. She's married and her husband hates her new body and rejects her because of it. That's what sealed the deal for me. So,
I don't understand.
You know, honestly, it happens all the time in my BRCA group to hear about husbands who are not supportive, who treat their wives that way, who like cheat on them when they're going through cancer and they're going through all of this stuff. worthless man. Like, that is not a real man.
But that is not like I find it hard to wrap my mind around a healthy relationship where that would be the spouse's reaction.
Exactly.
There's got like there has to be like some
Yeah.
serious character flaws
I
and
would
red
think
flags before
that they're just
that.
not
I mean,
recognizing before that.
I
At least
haven't
if
been
they're
through it, so I can't, make those assumptions. And I
Mhm.
guess you never truly know how you're going to respond to something until you're actually in the moment. But I have such a hard time wrapping my head around that. Like,
Yeah.
I've read several of those "Am I the asshole?" things.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
love those. They're
Those are
very
great because
entertaining.
most of the time it's like, yes, you are the asshole. How could
But
you even?
there's
How could you
stuff like
air your
that all
dirty
the
laundry?
time. But there will be
Yeah.
stuff like where the woman will be like writing in because her husband doesn't is like you have to lose weight or we're over, and she's like, "Am I the asshole for not losing weight?" I'm like, "What?" Like,
Yeah, no. I
I
just,
just
when I
don't
was
get
going
it.
through all of that, my husband was my biggest supporter. I didn't have a lot of outside support because my sister was going through cancer at the same time, and that took a lot of it. Yes, you were there. Yes, you were my outside support. 100%. But Jeff was here for everything.
Yes,
And
he
his
was.
whole thought process when we made the decision together was, I would rather have you here without boobs than not have you here at all. And that is
Yeah.
how it should be. Like this, you know what? I'm not 24 anymore. I was 24 when we met. I do not have the body of a 24-year-old. Like the same way, he is not young anymore either, and his body has changed, and that is just part of it. So,
Mm-hmm.
mine just no longer has nipples now. But my boobs are bigger, way bigger. So,
Right.
okay. Tell us
Okay.
about your last rec. Or last
Before we get to
TBR.
that,
Yes.
in the comments, let us know if you would like us to do a video dedicated to the topic of Jessica's journey and some recs that deal with this, because I've been encouraging her that I
Mhm.
feel like this would be, in case nobody's noticed, Jessica loves to overshare. So she's not hesitant on the fact that she
Mhm.
doesn't want to share her journey. She's just not sure if people want to hear more about it.
Yeah.
But I think it could be very helpful for people who maybe are going through it, who know somebody who's going through it, or who just want a better understanding of this journey. And so I think it would be a great video just to bring awareness to the whole topic, because some of these things become stuff that just gets talked about behind closed doors, and it shouldn't be something that people are afraid to talk about. And there's also some really great book recs that go along with it
Mhm.
that Jessica's read and can vouch for. Like, everybody's journey is different, but she can vouch that there's on
Authenticity.
yes to
Yeah.
the journey.
Yeah. And
So
hopefully
let
I
us
can add
know.
this one to that list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her experience, though, outside of the octopus
Yes.
could be realistic.
That's
Like,
what I mean. Yes.
when you read
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. So let
Yay!
us know if that would be something you would want to hear more about.
Yep.
And if you
And if
don't,
you
that's
do,
okay
then we
too.
might even have like a Q&A type situation, like where you guys send in your questions to
Mhm.
ask during where we talk about it too. So that we'll
Yes.
consider that if you guys want to do that. So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so my last one is called Before We Fall by Aurora Rose Reynolds. And this is about Miranda. Wow, we should have ended a while ago. This
Wait.
is about Miranda and Tucker, and they are both newly divorced, and they have met each other because their spouses were having an affair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be
So
like that
Miranda
one.
is a single mom. I'm not sure about Tucker's situation there. And he is a detective, and he has been busy trying to solve a young woman's murder, and their exes start playing games trying to break them up. So
Okay.
I'm just really curious about how all of that's
Drama.
gonna
Yeah.
work.
All the drama.
Sometimes you need a little drama like that.
Exactly. Keeps it fun.
I get tired of third act breakups for the
Mm-hmm.
drama.
Mm-hmm. Find something new.
Sometimes they don't bother me, but other times I'm like, could we have written this just a little different? Like,
Exactly.
but probably some of that has to do with, like, if I've just read 5 books in a row with that
You get
versus
tired of it.
if I haven't read that in a while, then that
Yeah.
you know, that can impact my
Yeah.
feelings on books too.
For sure. So, okay, guys. Well, that's it. There's the 15 books each that we would like to read in the month of April.
I'm going to do it.
Okay. All right. You do it. I'm not
Yes.
making that promise.
I will also be adding our book club book to my April TBR once we know what that is. So we do have book club as well to add to your April treat.
Yeah, we'll make those announcements. So, okay.
Okay. Well, make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us. And coming up in April, we do have some great Wednesday videos that'll be popping up soon as well. So don't miss out.
Yep. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.